Okay, art is from Venus, life is from Mars. Yes, well, I said that the muse is not divine, it does not come from a sense of destiny, a celestial destiny, a divine destiny. But that does not mean that art is less important. On the contrary, because there is no destiny, art is the only thing that can elevate us to at least feel as if there's something more, not just the here and now, something higher. But the thing is, to be an artist, it's not a mean to elevate you, it's a responsibility you take on yourself if you find yourself fit to do good art. This is something which is consistently being forgotten, the fact that being an artist is a responsibility. What am I getting at? Well, never in history were there so many people in our culture which claim themselves to be artists. Then you'd think that would result in better art or better place in the cultural hierarchy for art because so many people do it. But I think artists were never so underappreciated as they are today. And I'm not talking about how it's going on in academies or how it's going on in special art magazines. I'm talking about people on the street have never thought so low about good artists. I'm not talking about entertainment. You see, it's not like inspiration has hit humanity in higher quantities today than it ever did before. The thing is that people, by calling themselves artists, wish to validate the same personal paradises. It's not that we have had like a great revelation of new ways to make art, but more like we had amnesia and we forgot achievements that were made before. Actually, it's quite amazing. You see people doing today things which were remarkable maybe 50, 60 years ago, but today they are obsolete and they still think that they can claim being avant-garde because that's what they want to say. It's their own achievements. Generally speaking, we do not invent much today. We just make believe that things that have been achieved before were never achieved at all, and we can achieve them again, capitalize them with money or with respect. This has been going on for a long time, but what happens now, like for the last I think 5 years at least, is that the whole thing backfired. You see, it has become quite obvious that art is for entertainment. Art is pleasant. It's not a place to find conflicts in, which is pure bullshit. This is not how things were. Like, you can call the Bible a work of art, and this is a violent work of art, both on the pages and as a result of what is written there. So art is simply not taken seriously. Simply too many people try to ride this wagon. It's all about validating these personal paradises, and validating these personal paradises is done best today with money. If a work of art is good, it costs a lot. It makes lots of money. If it's bad, then it does not. But the thing that pisses me off is that people that are not artists do not claim to be artists. They figure that in this state, the more an artist makes, the greater the value of his work. And you don't have to know anything about art to determine the value of art. If you give money to artists, then that becomes good art. So you can decide what is good art according to what fits your agenda. And the thing is, because art is the only sublime medium today, then you can conquer those sublime levels with money. You can purchase subtle sense of morality by deciding what is good art, what is bad art, by deciding what is successful art and what is unsuccessful art. They appreciate art just like you would appreciate a dog that licks your hand. Artists today are in the same position as women and homosexuals were not so long ago, and maybe still are. But even though that's the art we have today, that's not the nature of art, and art cannot be tamed, because you don't tame any specific individual. New artists are born every day, and the artistic tendency will always go toward the more violent forms of art. The artistic muse of these newborn artists will send them toward conflict. It's pretty much obvious today that a conflict is at bay between submissive artists and the more natural artistic tendencies. It has to come because you cannot tell too many people that what they know is true is wrong for too long a time. Maybe this conflict will be somehow absorbed in some other greater conflict about different things such as politics and economy, but a change will come. I don't know when this conflict will happen, so I thought, like, instead of trying to describe this, I tried to imagine it. I thought about this conflict between life and art, conflict, war and beauty, and I thought about Mars. He's the god of war. We have the story of the War of the Worlds, where Martians will come and attack, and it's always so obvious that Mars and war is the thing to fear. And then we have Venus, representing beauty, which is always pleasant. And I was thinking, that's simply not true. If you see excessive beauty, if it's, let's say, in a girl, not seeing it, or seeing it can make you crazy, can make your whole life meaningless. Beauty and art are much more intrusive to the soul than just plain survivalism. So I thought about this kind of story. Terra being between Mars and Venus in the solar system, and I thought about the story, how Martians and Venetians came together on Terra to create the human civilization, with Mars bringing in all the logical, rational aspects of life, and Venus bringing in beauty and art, things that feel more sublime. And Earth was supposed to be a combination of both, but all the Venetian genes of the Terran civilization have been forgotten. So Venus is sending artistic predators to cannibalize on the Terran artists and bring back the balance. Because you see, people today don't have anywhere to turn to, because the successful art they know does not reach deep enough, so they have to go elsewhere, and they don't believe that art can be that rewarding anymore. Well, whatever. Now that's what I think.